Hi friends, this is Mangal and Muralitharan talking from India. Today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of creating learner awareness when learners face difficulties. Learners face innumerable difficulties when they try to learn something new on their own. All right. So I found many people finding it extremely difficult to understand the nitty-gritties of the task that they are trying to do. How do we really overcome this? This is a big question that most of us have, and some of us don't have any answers for this, because the kind of problems learners have may not be easily intelligible for the teacher. All right. So what do we do about it? Very simple. You need to really ask the learners, why is this happening? For example, if there are repetitive patterns of making errors, one or two errors. For example, there are people who don't really make complex sentences correct or compound sentences correct. Or they have the same spelling errors taking place all the time because these spelling errors are part of their schooling, and it has been continuous even after their college education. The same spelling errors continue. Unfortunately, this is happening in most parts of this country, and I do find it the spelling errors are rampant. You don't know how to really teach them to overcome that. So my simple suggestion for you is to ask yourself, as a teacher, why is this happening? This is happening for one reason. The reason is that the learner is not aware of it. If the learner is aware of it, what could the learner do? The learner could possibly come up with a solution. What kind of solution it is going to be? Very easy. They have to identify alternate words. They have to identify the spelling of the words, and they may have to repeat it, and they have to record it in their subconscious mind, and they should keep on repeating it for a while at least, and they should know that they are making those errors and they can overcome those errors, right? So if they do that, what would happen the next time when they try to speak or write? You will find a qualitative difference. For example, there are a lot of pronunciation errors which I see in majority of the learners who come for C2 level exams, right? So they have these simple errors. For example, they never say film, right? They say film. So film is different from film. So that difference, you need to say film, film, film. You have to say it, you have to repeat it. You have to make them conscious. Then what to do? Then possibly they could overcome that. So that is in your hands. Please understand, you are going to really fine tune the challenges that learners have, identify exactly what is the micro problem, very micro specific. And then you should give a solution, examples, and then motivate them. Some of them may be a bit not happy with the correction sometimes, but do not make so many corrections on a day. Do at least 5% correction every day, if possible 10%. And you tell them we can be gradually going to correct one after the other, step-by-step approach. But there are some advanced learners who could overcome these errors immediately. But some people, even if they are aware of it, to put it into practice, that does take a lot of time. For example, a few people who know that that's an error, but they can't overcome that habit of learning. They've already, it is ingrained in them, right? So give them a lot of time to change it, right? It does take change. It does take time. For example, I've seen some learners taking 3 months to overcome some of these basic synthesis of classes. They don't have any idea of why these errors are happening. And even if I say, give examples every day, ask them to correct it, and it takes at least 2 months for them to overcome this, right? So there are a lot of, for example, punctuation errors. I've seen people who make a lot of errors when it comes to making comma or, putting semicolon or a colon. And they even, for example, putting apostrophe. So there are people who do misuse it. For example, in India, most of the time, if you find people putting apostrophe after, whenever they make singular to plural, they convert singular into plural, some of them have this habit of putting apostrophe and adding yes. So please make sure you just try to tell them very carefully. This is an error. It could be corrected. So they understand it. And sometimes it could have been used for a long time. There's a habit. So suddenly you change them. Such modifications may not happen. So beware of that. And then try to correct them step by step. Be very gradual, be very friendly, and at the same time motivate the learner, point out the errors, but appreciate their ideas. That's one way of saying, appreciate. Give two or three appreciations, and then make one simple correction here and there, and then tell them, look at the reference material. Give them an additional references. Ask them to go and watch a YouTube video in that regard, or ask them to, read a particular grammar book. For example, I asked them to refer to Michael Swan's Practical English Grammar and Usage, or I asked them to go to, Advanced English Grammar by Martin Hewings. Right? So that's very important. That's very important. I do ask them to think about, Practice English Grammar by Thomas Martinet. So they could go and refer to these best books available in grammar, but they should be able to understand why they make those errors. Advanced learners could understand, but there are even teachers who come to me and ask me, Mangal, how do we really explain certain grammatical items? Yes, that's very important. You have to really simplify it, give some more examples, contextualize it. Whenever you teach a specific rule, contextualize, right? Give a lot of examples, localize those examples, and then try to make them write their own examples. I'm sure this has been highly useful to you. In case you need more support, you're free to ask me. Everything that I'm going to give you in this particular channel is free for you. You can send your comments, share this video if it's useful to your friends. Thank you very much. Good luck to you. Have a great day. Bye bye. See you.